as a matter of how long you've been in the business and how many years, give somebody the full breadth of your experience.
Yeah.
If you would, real quickly.
So I've been doing marriage coaching now, I believe, for about 17 years. And in that 17 years, I've had the opportunity literally to work with people from all over the world. I do day-long sessions. I've done a day-long session in Dublin, Ireland. I've done day-long sessions all across the United States. But what I love to do is work with people locally here in St. Louis. That's really my passion. And I love what I do. There's some things that are different about me than maybe your more traditional counselor. And I'd like to share what those three things are. Here's kind of what makes working with David Rispoli different than maybe a traditional marriage counselor. And there's three things, really. The first thing is that I use a very positive approach. I hear about people going to marriage counseling and they go there and they sit down and the counselor starts with the question, what's the problem? And they will spend an hour talking about the problem. Interestingly, they have been fighting about this same problem for the last 5-10 years. So, but they're sitting in the office and they're talking about their problems like they always do. If they weren't fighting on the way to the office, they're fighting in the car on the way home. And usually the counselor will look at his watch, say, well, that's all the time we have right now. Let's do this again next week. And I just find that to be really ineffective. So my approach is, the first thing I think really sets me apart is I have a very positive approach that is forward looking. I know that we have to deal with baggage in the rearview mirror. I know that we have to fix stuff that's broken in the rearview mirror. But the way you create a phenomenal marriage, the way you go from being a roommate to a soulmate is not by looking backwards. It's by moving forward. And so people leave my office with literally a strategy, and they know what the strategy is when they're walking out of my office to really turn things around positively. So nobody ever gets beat up in my office. And I find for a lot of people, that's refreshing. The second thing that's different is that I use some strategies that I have to be honest with you. This isn't theory. This isn't philosophy. I have had 2 wildly successful marriages. I say 2 because I'm widowed and I lost my wife. And I think you knew. My wife, Kathy.
Yep.
And I'm now married to Jennifer. I have a phenomenal marriage. And all you'd have to do is call Jennifer and ask her, hey, do you have a phenomenal marriage? She would tell you, we do. So what I teach is not theory. I'm not that professor who gets up in the business class talking about business who's never had a business. I've had 2 phenomenal marriages using these strategies. And here's the third thing that's really unique about me. And that is that I offer all of my clients 100% money back guarantee on my coaching, which that's unheard of in the industry. And I do that because 2 reasons. One is I can give people their money back all day long, but what I can't give them back is their time, right? I don't want to waste their time.
Right.
And secondly, I'm so convinced that for every couple who's watching this show today, there is a pathway to a better marriage.